This episode of Android Authority is brought to you by Carbonite. Go to carbonite.com and use the promo code AUTHORITY for a free trial. Hey everybody, I'm Chris Wook. You ask, we answer. It's Android Authority Q&A for July 10th, 2013. Ruben asks, when do you think the HTC One Max might be released? Also, what specs do you believe might be official on the handset? Thanks and keep up the great work. Thank you, Ruben. As of right now, there's still no official word on when we're going to see the HTC One Max, but last month, a financial analyst said that he'd expect to see it in the second half of 2013. As for the specs, I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that we'll see a Snapdragon 800, at least 2 gigs of RAM, and of course the ultra-pixel camera. The HTC One Max is rumored to have a 5.9-inch display, which I think sounds about right, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it come in that size. Though, we'll see. Peter says, hey Chris, I'm thinking of buying the Samsung Galaxy S4. What are some of the more common problems with it? There are two main complaints I see about the Samsung Galaxy S4. The first is lag, either when pressing the home button or scrolling through home screens. Luckily, we did a tips and tricks video for the Samsung Galaxy S4, which includes remedies for both of those problems. The other problem I hear about somewhat often is overheating. Now, overheating can be caused by a lot of things, but not everybody seems to experience it. For example, when I was testing the Samsung Galaxy S4, I never ran into that problem, so that's kind of up in the air. Vikramjit asks, when is the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 release date? Will it be coming to any US or Canadian carriers? Well, last month we talked about some rumors that we might see the Note 3 sooner rather than later, but since Samsung's premiere event in the UK came and went without unveiling the Note 3, I think it's safe to say that, like last year, they'll unveil the Note 3 at IFA, and we'll see a release date in September just like with the Note 2. And for the second question, yes, the Note 3 is bound to be one of Samsung's biggest phones of the year in more ways than one, so we'll definitely see it on more than a few carriers in the US and Canada. Mata asks, is there any way I can use my HTC One S as a TV remote control like you can with the Galaxy S4? Maybe an app? Well, kinda, but it's not going to work exactly the same way. See, both the Galaxy S4 and the HTC One, for example, have built-in IR blasters just like a normal TV remote, so they can control any TV. You can find apps to control certain things, though, depending on your setup. Say if you're a Plex or XBMC user, they both have remote apps. And some smart TVs from companies like Samsung, LG, and Panasonic have remote apps as well. Gary asks, does the Samsung Galaxy S4 support 64GB microSD HC cards? Yes, it does. Adrian says, I'd like to use lock screen widgets and shortcuts on my Galaxy S4 when I have it on a pattern or pin. Will Samsung be releasing a patch so I can do this? Unfortunately, there's no word on any sort of update coming out for this. We will keep our eyes peeled though, so fingers crossed. Mara says, Chris, I'm a new owner of the HTC One and I was wondering, is there any official news that the One will be updated to Android 4.2 or 4.3? Well, I don't know where you live, but an update for the HTC One to Android 4.2 is currently rolling out in Europe, so it should start to hit elsewhere pretty soon. When it comes to 4.3, there's no official word right now, but the Google Play edition of the HTC One was spotted running Android 4.3. When that'll end up in the hands of customers is up in the air right now, but it's safe to assume that eventually we will see it. Frank asks, will the Motorola X be available on AT&T or just Verizon like other Motorola Droid phones? Well, good news, Frank. Last week it was confirmed that the Motorola X will not be a Droid branded phone, though it will be coming to Verizon. According to filings with the FCC, it looks like AT&T, Sprint, and US Cellular will be getting the Motorola X as well. There you go. And that wraps it up for this week, folks. We have a written companion to this video at AndroidAuthority.com. You can find the link in the description. Now remember, this show is powered by you and your questions, so keep them coming. You can find the link to ask us questions of your very own in the description as well. Make sure to check out our other shows as well. Josh Vergara hosts Android Authority Weekly every Sunday covering the top Android news of the week. And if you like free stuff, and who doesn't, make sure to check out the Sunday giveaway hosted by me every, you guessed it, Sunday. I'm Chris Wook, and as always, thank you for watching.